Hello everyone, I'm Darm again. Today's topic is looking at the chaos, the drama, and the crises that often surround narcissistic people. And while it's fair to say that not all narcissists behave identically, there are several common psychological motivations that can explain why they're often not only drawn to drama and chaos, but also why they create it. So, in this video, I'm going to look at some of those motivations and give some examples. But to begin with, narcissistic people tend to thrive on being the center of attention, whether that's positive or negative. They often crave excitement and emotional intensity. And some of the ways they get this attention, this excitement, is to create dramas, crises, emergencies, or mysteries, where people have to figure things out for them, rescue them, or take some kind of action. Now, if nothing else, maybe it breaks the monotony of their ordinary lives. They get to feel interesting, special, but they also get to feel important and in control. Now, at a low level, they could just pretend to lose their keys, maybe have everyone search for them. But a real life example would be somewhere I worked many years ago. Shortly after getting a new phone, one of the staff members told us she'd been receiving mysterious messages from a strange number. Now, nothing threatening or sinister, but they were definitely odd and definitely cryptic. And she was quite caught up with who this mystery person was and why they would be messaging her, and should be showing these messages to other staff members, trying to get them to guess who they were from and what those messages meant. But after a day or two of intrigue, one of the other staff members told us that the number sending the messages actually looked like her old number. So it looks like she'd been sending herself messages and trying to get everyone involved in some kind of a mystery. And this sounds quite silly and childlike, but it seems the aim was to appear interesting and to draw others into doing some kind of work for her, figuring the messages out. Incidentally, though, by the Friday the messages just seemed to mysteriously stop and they were never mentioned again. So either her plan didn't work as no one was really that interested, or she just got bored with the idea and tried to think up another drama somewhere else. Secondly, a little bit of drama can give a narcissist something of an ego boost. By either stirring up or participating in some kind of a drama, a narcissistic person can manipulate people into offering sympathy or validating their perspective. Now, an example could be if something terrible were to happen to someone else, a narcissistic person can shift the focus onto themselves by exaggerating how badly this has affected them personally. But they can also exploit contention and conflict to show their superior intellect, morality, or even their own victimhood. But contention can also serve to divide and conquer others. Narcissists can either exaggerate or intentionally create conflict to divide groups, pit people against one another, isolate individuals, or punish those they don't like. So the conflict can enhance their sense of power and control over social dynamics. And it's often hidden behind a fake compassion, a fake empathy, or exaggerated outrage. And you tend to see this a lot in narcissistic families, workplaces, sometimes in communities, and it tends to be quite rampant on social media. Narcissistic people can be quite eagerly offended on other people's behalf. Now, another reason for the drama is for control. Now, an example could be at a low level, well, someone could be out with friends, but they keep receiving text messages or phone calls from their narcissistic partner or friend. And the constant communication could be over something they are more than capable of handling themselves, such as where did they leave their phone charger or how do you switch the kettle on. But then, taking it up a gear or so, they might actually start an argument before the partner leaves to go out, and they continue the argument via text message when the partner is out with their friends. But regardless of whatever the crisis is, it usually involves showing some kind of helplessness or to create some kind of tension. And it's aimed at preventing someone from just being able to enjoy the evening, enjoy the company of others. The person receiving the messages can end up feeling they either have to resolve whatever the crisis is or just return home, and either way, it takes them away from their friends. Narcissists generally don't like sharing the spotlight with anyone, so if you're enjoying other people's company, it means you're not thinking about them. So the constant text messages and phone calls are a way of making sure that you are thinking about them. This gives them attention and it feeds them. Next, you might find a lot of emergencies, dramas, and crises in a relationship with a covert narcissist. They'll portray themselves as being helpless, vulnerable, victimized, or whatever, but they're usually in some desperate need of some kind of rescuing. And they'll tell their partners all about the difficulties they face, and yet they reject any help or support that's offered. For instance, they might need to be at a certain place by a certain time and they have no way of getting there. But whenever the partner offers to drive them, well, they reject the offer, and they might even do this in favour of asking someone else. Now, eventually, the partner stops offering due to being constantly rejected and devalued. But then, the covert narcissist complains how unsupportive they are. And this combination of whining, complaining, dry begging, then rejecting can drive partners crazy. Moving on, some narcissistic people might actually create emergencies just so they can be the one to jump in and save the day. Now, an example could be they might withhold important information that has other people in a panic because they don't know what's going on. But then they suddenly discover something or work something out that miraculously saves the day, and they get to be the hero, and everyone is grateful. But they can also create tension among different parties by spreading rumours and gossiping, deliberately aimed at causing some kind of contention and conflict, and then they just sit back and watch the chaos. Now, I would suggest that this is a form of sadism known as spineless sadism. It's like they make arrows, but then they hand them to people to shoot at each other. They just sit back and enjoy the show. But in some cases, they might create the conflict between different parties, but then volunteer to mediate to resolve those issues, the issues that they created in the first place. Again, they earn praise for saving the day, ending the bitterness, and this can bolster their status and their sense of importance. Another aspect of creating drama can be when a relationship is ending or has ended. Rather than want an open and honest discussion, a narcissist may try to create problems, issues, or emergencies just to get any kind of response. Now, these crises can be aimed at either preventing someone from leaving, to bring them back again, or maybe just to keep a line of communication open so they have some kind of contact. Now, this could be just feigned helplessness, looking for some kind of pity and sympathy, but it can also be more coercive and sinister. There could be threats they'll harm someone. There could be threats they'll harm themselves. They could send text messages or letters threatening to do something to themselves or others, hoping that you'll intervene and rescue them, talk them out of it, give them whatever it is they want. Now, I'm not saying a narcissistic person wouldn't harm themselves or others, but by escalating the threat, they are coercively controlling their victims by leading them to believe that they are responsible for the narcissistic person's actions. Lastly, the drama, the emergencies, can be a way of deflecting from having to face the consequences of their own bad behaviour. They can't deal with whatever it is they have done or said because they're far too worried about the neighbour's cat. They can't be held accountable because of the terrible difficulties people they've never met or care about are having to face. But these various dramas are really just sideshows aimed at deflecting away from having to face responsibility and accountability. So to summarise, when it comes to chaos and drama, many narcissistic people may have a lot of unresolved internal conflicts and issues, and they may unconsciously project their inner turmoil outwards onto others. And by focusing on external problems, they avoid a little introspection and having to face their own flaws, their own insecurities. But the dramas also give them fuel in the sense that they feed off other people's reactions and emotions. They have a desperate need for attention, and that's what drama gives them. When they get a response, they're being fed. But they also play off other people's empathy and compassion. The issues they report could well be genuine, but not necessarily be emergencies. They're often either blown way out of proportion, or there's something they could manage themselves quite easily. But they will still turn to other people to get involved in their chaos to fuel their need for attention, sympathy, excitement, or for the sense of power they feel whenever they reject someone's support or offers of help. To a narcissistic person, problems, even other people's problems, can get them attention. Maybe they think that drama makes them interesting. In reality, it tends to make them hard work. So that's just a brief outline of narcissistic people and their need for drama. As always, there is a lot I could have added, so please feel free to use the comments section, or some interesting conversations start from these videos. But if you find this topic to be interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.